very good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jadabdin. We start off with a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headline.
In headlines, wholesale warehouses to open for paddy purchases starting today. Parliament to convene today. Regulations under Intellectual Property Act to be debated. US will look at all options for Gaza takeover as UN warns against ethnic cleansing in news overseas. And in sports, no Indian match officials at Champions Trophy 2025. And now coming to stories in detail. In local news, the Consumer Affairs Authority says that wholesale warehouses will be opened for paddy purchasing starting today. The chairman of the Consumer Affairs Authority, Manjula Pinnalanda, says that wholesale warehouses are now open in Kilinochi, Batiklo, Ampara, Kurunagala and Putlam. The chairman adds that 5 billion rupees have been allocated for the National Treasury for rice purchases. Accordingly, paddy stocks will be purchased at the guaranteed prices that were announced yesterday. Now, yesterday, the Paddy Marketing Board announced the guaranteed prices for purchasing paddy. According to Minister K.D. Lalkantha, the prices are 120 rupees per kilogram for Nadu paddy, 125 rupees per kilogram for Samba paddy, and 132 rupees per kilogram for Kiri Samba paddy. On to more local news, the Parliament is scheduled to convene at 9:30 a.m. today under the leadership of Speaker Dr. Jagat Wickramaratne. Now, from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. time has been allocated for parliamentary activities related to Standing Orders 22.1 to 22.6. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. time has been set aside for oral questions. From 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. time has been allocated for questions under Standing Order 27.2. Following this, from 11:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. time has been set aside for the debate on regulations under the Intellectual Property Act. From 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. time has been reserved for questions raised by both the ruling party and the opposition during the adjournment debate. And up next is international news.
International news.
In news overseas, the US is prepared to look at all options. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed in regards to Donald Trump's proposal for the US to take a long-term ownership position of Gaza. With the White House declining to rule out the forcible transfer of Palestinians from Gaza, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned it is essential to avoid any form of ethnic cleansing. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says Trump's generous offer to help clean up Gaza shouldn't be viewed as a hostile move. Some key US allies have also rejected the suggestion, while the UK says Palestinians should live and prosper in their homelands. Egypt says Gaza should be redeveloped without its people leaving, while Saudi Arabia rejects any attempts to displace the Palestinians. Up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
And in sports, it is cricket we have for you. The Champions Trophy 2025 will have no Indian officials, with two of the likeliest candidates having excused themselves from travelling to Pakistan. It is understood that Javagal Srinath, one of the most prolific ICC match referees, and Nitin Menon, part of the ICC's elite panel umpires, had mutually agreed with the ICC that they would not undertake any officiating assignments in the Pakistan leg of the tournament. And since all matches in Dubai will feature India and require neutral officials, it automatically rules out Indian match officials. And with that, we wrap up this edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Shradabdin. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.